Hey guys, it's Allie, and if my voice sounds disgusting, it's because I just woke up. In today's video, I'm going to be ranking my entire collection of dolls. This has been a video I've wanted to do for a while, but my friend Kyla Collects just posted her version of this video, and that inspired me to make mine. She also mentioned how she used a bias sorter in her video, so it's pretty much where you type in all of the options and it's like you get to pick one or the other and it will make a list. Now, I didn't realize that pressing no opinion would create a tie. I thought it would rank it against each other. So some of my picks in this video are actually tied. And now let's get into ranking these dolls. Starting from the bottom, working our way up to the top. In last place, number 25, we have Devin. Now Devin is my custom Addie. And this ranking kind of surprised me because in my head, I have what are my favorite dolls, my middle of the road dolls, and then the dolls that I just never go to and never really use. So even though Devin is one of those dolls that unfortunately I don't use that often, I'm a bit surprised that she ended up being last. As I've stated in previous videos, I've just never really been able to connect with Devin. I think because I got her with the intent of customizing her. I got her really cheap from the benefit sale and she's gone through multiple wigs. I've just never really been happy with how she looks because as much as I love Addie and her stories, I never got the doll with the intent on keeping her as Addie, and the other accommodations I've tried on her, I've just never really loved. And the thing with a lot of custom wigs is that as beautiful as they are, they're just really thick, which some people love, but it makes dolls really top heavy when taking photos, and I think that's why I don't use a lot of my customs that have non-AG wigs as much for photography because they always want to fall over. So that's why Devin is sadly in last place, but I love her earrings and I love Addie's stories. Number 24 is Raylan Sky Rivers, and she is my number 49. Now I can straight up tell you the reason she's this low is because I don't use her often, and I don't use her often because she sadly has perma panties and I never got them swapped out. When I was debating about sending her in or not, people were like, you should have one doll with perma panties because it's like a collector's item. And I was like, sure. But as far as I'm aware, the perma panties dolls, yes, they were a phase in American Girl history, but it's not like they could sell for more money than a regular American Girl doll, and they're so universally hated. And I'm a perma panties hater. They make her body look just like a cylinder and it's a different shape, not even like down there, but like her whole body is just so different from the regular American Girl doll that she fits clothing differently, and I am not a fan of it. So if we're judging face alone, I absolutely love 49. She has beautiful medium skin, beautiful bright blue eyes, long wavy black hair, but the perma panties just make me not want to use her that much. So I really should get on that and give her a new body. But for now, she is my second to least favorite doll. Now we have the first tie in the video, and that is between my boy doll Aaron and my Gabriella doll Ryan. Now I've talked about this in my All My Dolls videos before as well, but the reason I think Ryan is very low is, once again, I never really connected with her off the bat. She was an impulse buy because she was on sale for around $90 at my American Girl store. I got her, took photos of her, went away, and the second time I ever took photos of Ryan, she face planted and got a scuff on her nose. So looking at her just made me sad, and I really didn't use her for the first few weeks of having her, even months, because her scar on her nose made me really sad. Even though it doesn't bother me now and I'm so used to it, Ryan's hair, because Ryan has tight curls, I don't really want to touch it unless I absolutely have to, which means that unfortunately a lot of the time she's just sitting on the shelf. She's also just an older doll in my collection and she's been overshadowed by a lot of the newer dolls, so that is why Ryan is low and I really do need to take photos of her more often. Next is Aaron. Now Aaron is my boy doll, and as much as I love him as a doll, I just don't use him that much because most of my clothing is for girl dolls and I love doing hair and things like that, so there's not much I can do to Aaron. As much as I'm happy to have a boy doll for certain recreation photos or if I ever did an AGSM, I am more of a girl doll collector just based on like it's just easier to collect one type of doll. And of course I could dress Aaron in dresses and skirts and stuff, but it's not really my style. I have a more masculine style for my boy doll, so just because I don't use him as much, that is why he is lower ranked. 21 is Julie Albright, and I will also talk about 20 here, who is Becca. These are both my sister's dolls, so I'm not surprised at all that they ranked right next to each other. I never really connected with either of them because they were not mine to begin with, and though Becca was originally a 39, I ended up giving her the wig I originally got for Devin, previously mentioned. As much as I love the way the wig looks on her, I just don't touch Becca often because she always wants to fall over because the wig makes her top heavy. So these two dolls are beautiful on their own, but because they weren't mine initially. I just never connected with them. They just kind of fell into my collection. So that is why they are quite low on the list. I just don't use them that often. Now this doll, I'm actually quite surprised ended up this far back, but I think it's just in my mind, I don't use her that much, but I really love her as a doll individually. And that is Krissa at 18th place, and tied at 18th is my custom doll, Rory. So let's start by talking about Krissa. I did get her used, so it's not the same connection as I would have with the doll that I got brand new, but she's a really pretty doll. There's not that much I can do with her hair because it's pretty short, but I love the combination of the bright blue eyes with the dark black hair. I made her the star in an AGSM. I think it's just because as of lately I haven't really taken photos of Krissa or used her lately that she's kind of fallen to the back of the pack in my mind. Overall, I think if I were to rank this like on paper without the non-biased order, I would put her earlier and more above, but I think it's just because I don't use her as much compared to my other dolls, but I still love Krissa. As for Rory, I don't use her that much because the custom wig makes her top heavy. I think you can figure that out by now. As much as I love her stunning eyes and I'm really proud of making her, she was my first eye swap and the video of me customizing her did very well. I just don't use her that much, and she's a really pretty doll. I think she's more of a display doll where I'm like, look how pretty my doll is, rather than actually using her, but that is Rory. Now this doll being at 17 is very fitting because 17 is my lucky number. So even though it's not the top, not the bottom, I am very happy with where this doll ended up, and that is my mini me, truly me number 59, Ally. So Ally, I don't use her that much because she's really old. She was my first doll. There's much newer dolls in the collection who are more quote unquote exciting to me, but I'd still love Ally because she's my first doll and I have so many memories with her. So that is why she's middle of the pack, but she's number 17, which is so fitting. I also love 17 from Heathers, so there's that. Just above is Amelie, who is my Caroline doll and my second American Girl doll. So middle of the pack for the same reasons as Ally. I don't use her that much, but I have a lot of memories with her. But I think the fact that she's a Caroline, and I'm just so happy I own a Caroline doll, ranked her slightly above Ally. Next, at number 15 is Eden, who is my Kanani doll. Now, Kanani, you guys are probably like, oh my gosh, why isn't Kanani in your top 5 or something? Because a lot of people love Kanani. I really just got her because I stumbled onto a really good deal, and you can't pass up a cheap Kanani, especially as an American Girl doll collector. Like, they're so valuable. Kanani is currently in a very cute outfit, and I have been meaning to take photos of her in it, so that definitely boosts her up in the ranking. But I feel like I don't connect with her as much as my other dolls, just because I never really wanted a Kanani. She's also used, so I don't have the same feeling of getting a brand new doll that I can connect with and is only mine. So that is why Eden is here. Middle of the pack, but she is still a cute doll. Next is Leah. Now Leah is another of the older dolls in my collection. She is the Girl of the Year for 2016, and when thinking about her in this ranking, I was obviously thinking about her stunning wig, so I was like, I like Leah's wig more than this doll. Leah, move forward in my ranking. So she ended up being quite high, especially considering I don't use Leah as much as I used to. I think Leah placing 14th is a sign I need to use my Leah doll more, but yeah, she's here. 13 is Ruthie Smithens. I got her used as well, and even though I don't use her as much, I feel like it's because the time I got her, I got so many dolls that year that I didn't really have time to connect with each one individually and use them all to their full potential before I got a new doll. So I definitely regret that whole year, I think it was 2021, of doll buying because I got way too many dolls too fast. So I've been trying to slow down a little bit this year. She has gray eyes, which is a pretty unique feature, especially in my collection. She's my only doll with gray eyes. Her wig within my collection is very unique and she's really cute. I just don't use her as much as I should. So middle of the pack, I think, is where she belongs. 12 is an older doll that I have been loving lately, and that is my doll, Victoria. She is a 25. I got her used from one of my elementary school friends, but she was practically new in box because my friend was scared of her doll and sold her to me for a bunch of littlest pet shop items. Now, Victoria, compared to my other older dolls, I use quite frequently for K-pop recreations. I love K-pop. If you didn't know, how could you be subscribed to my channel and not know that I love K-pop? I'm always using her for recreations, so she's definitely been getting photographed a lot lately. However, she is still one of my older dolls, and and you will see when we get to the higher dolls in this ranking that new doll syndrome is definitely making this ranking biased, even though this is supposed to be a non-biased ranking. So that is Victoria. 11 is Marlo. Marlo is my Joss Girl of the Year 2020 cheerleading boss doll, and she is at number 11, just missing out on the top 10. Now I think she's a really pretty doll. I'm sure if I gave her a new outfit right now, she would jump up in the rankings, but the reason she is not necessarily top 10, but not low either, is just because she's not as unique compared to my other dolls. Of course, she has the Joss face mold and her wig is still different from other dolls, but she reminds me a lot of 59, and I don't know, right now I've just not been in love with my Joss doll. Like, I still use her. She really just needs a new outfit. She's been in Nyan's Feel Special outfit since like early May when I filmed my K-pop lookbook video, so that needs some help. She just hasn't been one of my favorites lately, but I still like her more than a lot of my older dolls. At number 10 is Rosie. She is my Mary Grace doll. She is up here purely because she's a Mary Grace. Do I use her all the time? No. But am I grateful to own a Mary Grace? Absolutely. So she's just a really pretty doll, more of a display doll lately, but she's stunning and I'm just glad I own her, and I just love the first ever photo shoot I did with her. Number 9 is Lainey. I love Lainey and I really need to photograph her more often. I just love her wig with the side bangs and the curls and the way that her eyes look with her wig. She's such a pretty doll. Yes, my Lainey was used, but I feel like I've just connected with her more than my other used dolls, and I really want to take photos of her right now, but I have to leave in like 30 minutes, so I do not have the time for that. But that is Lainey. Number 8 is Suri, a doll that recently I've been falling more and more in love with. Suri is my custom that I won in a giveaway from Juniper Illy. She is the base of a 26 with what I believe is a 25 wig. Even though the doll's body has a few little scratches on the upper thigh of her vinyl, her face is just so stunning. The Addy mold in the medium skin tone with the smooth black hair, such a beautiful combination. And I almost thought about taking her on an upcoming trip, but I ended up taking other dolls. But Suri is definitely pretty and I really need to be carrying her around way more. She's just so photogenic and looks good in almost anything I dress her in. Now we have a tie for 6, and I genuinely cannot pick what doll I like more. At number 6, tied is Alana and Naya. Naya is my 62 from the benefit sale and Alana is Nanea. Now both of these dolls are some of my favorite dolls in my collection. I use them both a ton and I just absolutely love them. However, I cannot rank one over the other because I feel like they have similar features. They're both medium skin, black hair, which I have a lot of dolls with that in my collection, but I just love the combination. And I genuinely just love them both for different reasons. Naya is so photogenic, Alana has an amazing wig. So they are tied for 6, but we're definitely hitting my favorite dolls right now. Number 4 is another tie, and this tie is filled with new doll syndrome bias. And those are my 2 newest dolls, Karina, Rocket Puncher, just kidding, Karina, my current doll, and Ophelia, my newest doll, number 83. Now, of course, if I were to do this ranking in a few months, when it's been a bit longer since I've gotten a new doll, I'm sure things would shift around, but for right now, I can't really pick a favorite. Karina's actually heading on a trip with me very soon, so I'm excited for that. And Ophelia is so new, but she is so pretty, and she just inspires me to sew cottagecore garments. So I really just love both these dolls right now, but with Ophelia, it's only been a month, so it's a bit too soon to tell how long I will like her in the long term. So for now, these dolls are tied at 4th. Now, we have a 3-way tie for 1st. I'm actually surprised that these 3 dolls ranked higher than my 2 newest dolls, but I think that's just new doll syndrome coming into effect. So the 3-way tie for number 1 is Maisie, my Melody doll, Kiona, my Kaya doll, and of course, the iconic Juniper, my Mary Ellen doll. Now, Juniper is one of my older dolls in my collection, but she's definitely a fan favorite, so I guess it's fitting that she is tied for 1st place. Juniper just means so much to me as a doll. I put her in the first cycle of AGNDM. She is, of course, my profile picture, and even now, she's still so photogenic. I almost took her on the trip with me as well, and I just love Juniper, and I know a bunch of you guys love Juniper too, so it's very fitting that she made it to top 3. The next one I will talk about is Maisie, who is my Melody doll. I have so many friends in real life who collect dolls and on AGIG who want to get a Melody doll solely because of Maisie, the power this doll holds. She's really pretty, and I've never fallen out of love with her. She's so fun to dress, photograph, and she looks good in almost anything, so I'm a little bit surprised that she still ended up tied for 1st. I thought she would have been like maybe 5th or 4th, but go Maisie. And the last doll I will talk about is another one I didn't expect to be in top 3, but I know exactly why she's here, and that is Kiona, my Kaya doll. Now, I love Kaya, and I'm falling back in love with her recently. I put her in a brand new outfit I ordered from Etsy, did her hair, and she's actually coming with me on a trip soon. So I have been carrying my Kaya around the house, getting all pumped up and things like that. So I'm very much in love with my Kaya doll right now. Now, overall, do I use her as much as some dolls like Naya or Alana? No. But I think just because of how unique of a doll Kaya is and how beautiful she is, she ended up in top 3. She's really photogenic, and I think just the fact that I'm excited to go on a trip with her means that she's ranked pretty high. This ranking is definitely going to change if I make this video in another month or next year, so maybe this should be a yearly series that I do on my channel. So if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below if you were surprised with my ranking. Most of you watching this video, I assume, would know my doll collection well, so were you surprised that, let's be real, Juniper was at the top? I don't think so. Subscribe to my channel for more American Girl doll videos, and of course, have an amazing day, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye!